Yes, ma'am, you can start.
Okay. ఇది యూట్యూబ్ లింక్ కూడా షేర్ చేస్తారా సార్ నాకు?
చేస్తున్నాం చేస్తున్నాం.
Good afternoon, children. సో ఈరోజు లెసన్ సార్ స్క్రీన్ మీద ఇక్కడ ప్లీజ్ మూవ్ దిస్ విండో అవే అట్లాంటిది ఏమైనా కనిపిస్తుందా సార్?
కనిపిస్తుంది మ్యామ్, కనిపిస్తుంది.
ఓకే, క్లియర్ గానే ఉంది కదా?
క్లియర్ మ్యామ్, దానివల్ల పెద్ద డిస్టర్బెన్స్ ఏం లేదు.
ఓకే ఓకే సార్. సో గుడ్ ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ చిల్డ్రన్. So today's we are going to talk on the topic water. So మీకు వాటర్ లెసన్ మనకి 6th లో 7th లో ఈ టాపిక్ కవర్ అవుతుంది. So I would tell all the concepts from 6th and also 7th. It's a small chapter, so we will cover from the both classes. Okay. Now, so we use water for many purposes in our daily life. You already know we use water for washing clothes. So this picture you have in your 6th class textbook, no? So you know water is used in many ways for our daily needs and also for growing crops and for other all things. So we use water for washing clothes, cooking, taking bath, and then brushing, drinking, okay, to grow crops. Many things we use water for many purposes. So water is very much essential in our daily life. So we will know more about this water in this session. So now first we will know about how to measure the volume of water. Okay. Volume of water and other liquids is measured in liters. And also in milliliters. So any liquid, if you milk తీసుకున్నా కూడా liters, milliliters అట్లా అంటాం కదా. So water ఇంకా other liquids all we measure in liters and milliliters. The water tank in some villages and most towns and cities have the capacity to store gallons of water. Water tanks and big water tanks will be there, no, in villages and also in some cities also they will be there. So in those big tanks we don't measure water in liters, milliliters. So small capacity we won't measure. We measure them as gallons. You know, 1 gallon is equal to somewhat roughly it is 4 liters. Okay. So it is measured in gallons of water. Gallon is also a measure of volume of liquids. One more thing, water level in the reservoirs. You know reservoirs? Many tanks, dams, దగ్గర వాటర్ ఉంటుంది కదా పెద్దగా. సో వాటిని మనం gallons లో మెజర్ చేయలేం. So they measure it in feet. And also water released from dams projects during floods is measured in cubics. అంటే క్యూబిక్ సెంటీమీటర్ పర్ సెకండ్ ఎంత వదులుతున్నారా డ్యామ్ నుంచి అన్నది మనకు చెప్తారనమాట. సమ్ క్యూసెక్స్ అంటే క్యూబిక్ సెంటీమీటర్స్ పర్ సెకండ్ అంటే మనకి ఎంత అంటే ఒక క్యూసెక్స్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు సమ్ 25 లీటర్స్ లాగా ఉంటుంది అనమాట. సో దట్ దే విల్ మెజర్. నౌ సీ దిస్ పిక్చర్. బిగ్ వాటర్ బాడీస్ విల్ బి దేర్, నో, దో డ్యామ్స్ దగ్గర, రివర్స్ దగ్గర. ఇక్కడ ఈ మెజర్ ఫీట్ లాగా. సో ఇట్లాంటిది మీరు చూసే ఉంటారు కదా, ఇక్కడ ఫీట్ ఇక్కడ మార్కింగ్స్ ఉంటాయి. సో దే మెజర్ ఇన్ ద ఫీట్. There are different sources of water on the earth. సోర్సెస్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ అంటే ఏంటి? వాటర్ ఎక్కడైతే మనం ఎక్కడి నుంచి అయితే మనకు దొరుకుతుందో దాన్ని సోర్సెస్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ అని అంటాం. సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ సోర్సెస్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ అంటే మెయిన్ సోర్స్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ అంటే రెయిన్. నెక్స్ట్ అదర్ సోర్సెస్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ మీన్స్ రివర్స్, సీస్, okay, oceans, small canals, ponds, wells, all these are sources of water. We know that nearly 3/4 of the surface of the earth is occupied by water. So ఇది చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి నేర్చుకుంటున్నారు కదా, ఎర్త్ సర్ఫేస్ పైన 3/4 వాటర్ ఉంటుంది, ఓన్లీ 1/4 is land. So water is that much water is there on the earth. In most villages, wells, canals, tanks, ponds, rivers, etc. are the main water sources. So villages లలో ఎక్కువ మటుకు ఇవన్నీ ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి అట్లా సోర్సెస్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ అంటే. టౌన్స్, సిటీస్కి వచ్చేసరికి వి గెట్ వాటర్ ఫ్రమ్ ద ట్యాప్స్. ట్యాప్స్ వస్తున్నాయంటే అక్కడ ట్యాప్ సోర్స్ కాదు, into the taps, some from other water tanks we get into the taps. So mainly what we can say sources of water means wells, canals, tanks, ponds, rivers, oceans, seas, and all this. Okay. Water is not only available from sources such as rivers, lakes, and ponds, but also present in certain fruits and vegetables. Did you think about this? Water anagane manam river, well, sea, pond antam kada. Kani in some fruits and vegetables also water will be present. In which fruit more water is present? Can you tell? Anybody? Tell in the chat. In which fruit more water is present? I think you know this. So in this watermelon, okay, these types of fruits have more amount of water. So fruits like watermelon and vegetables like cucumber contain a lot of water. So that is why we eat lot of this type of fruits and vegetables in summer. Because in summer we need more water, no? We get dehydration very soon. Okay, we get dehydrated because summer is so hot. So water from our body is lost every second. So we get dehydrated. So it is better to eat fruits like watermelon and vegetables like cucumber more because they contain lot of water. Our body also contains 70% of water by weight. See, in our body also, body is made up of cells, you know. Okay, in 8th class this year you have learned, no, body is fully made up of cells. So cell is also contains water by 70%. Okay, so think, why do we take juicy fruits in this summer? Juicy fruits and water ekkunna fruits anamata. Why do we take juices? And that is also because more water is present in it. That is why we have to drink lot of water and fruit juices in summer. Now look at this picture. You have this picture in your 7th textbook, I think. So source of water on earth. So in the previous slide only we have learned that 3/4 of the land on the earth's surface is filled with water. So here in this pictorial diagram, this is pie diagram, no? So when this diagrammatic representation is given, it is called as a pie diagram. So this dark blue color, it represents the ocean water. Okay, it is about 97%. ఇక్కడ ఇది మొత్తం ఎర్త్ లాగా అనుకోవద్దు. 3/4 of earth which is filled with water, దాన్ని రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తున్నది ఇక్కడ. సో ఆ 3/4 లో 97% is of ocean water. 2% is of glaciers and poles as ice. Glaciers means large ice bodies which float on the water in big oceans, seas, and all. Those are called as the glaciers. And in poles, north pole, south pole, you have ice, no, full of ice is there. So this contribute to 2%. Now next 1% is groundwater. So you know groundwater. Whichever water we find inside the ground is groundwater. And then water in ponds, lakes, and rivers. These are all fresh water. Now, This constitute about 1%. So you have here, you are learning about two words. Okay. See, one is you are saying seawater and another is you are saying fresh water. So difference is fresh water means it is not clean and all like that. Here fresh water represents that it has less amount of salts in it. Seawater has more amount of salts. So it is very salty. It is not used for drinking and other purposes we use, mainly drinking. But fresh water which has less salts, it can be consumed by animals and humans also. Okay, that is the difference. Now, World Water Day. Now today, what you know? Today is the World Sparrow Day. Okay. Like that only, World Water Day is on 22nd March. So day after tomorrow. Okay. The period from 2005 to 2015. How many years it is coming? 2005 to 2015, it is 10 years. So we call it as decade. So this decade was declared as International Decade for Action on Water for Life. So water ni protect cheyalsina avasaram undi, conserve cheyalsina avasaram. There is a need to conserve water because it is day by day it is getting more polluted and we are getting depleted of water. That is why there is a need to conserve water. So this 2005 to 2015, it was declared as the International Decade for Action on Water for Life. World Water Day is celebrated on 22nd March. Now, again we come to this point. Seawater is salty, but water used by us in our daily purposes is not salty. So, water which we get in taps, in wells, okay, in rivers, this is not so much salty. This is called as fresh water. Water in ponds, puddles, river, from tube wells, bore wells, and bore wells, and our taps at home is usually fresh water. In seawater, it is called as salt water. Now, this flow chart also you have in 7th class. It is showing the stages of safe drinking water. Means from how we are getting into the taps water. Okay. Now we will see about the stages. This flow chart is showing the stages, safe drinking water stages. Okay. Now, first let us see tank. Tank అంటే ఒక రివర్ నుంచి తీసుకోవచ్చు వాళ్ళు వాటర్, ఒక పాండ్ నుంచి తీసుకోవచ్చు, దట్. ఓకే. ఫ్రమ్ దేర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఫిల్టర్డ్. ఆ వాటర్ని ఫిల్టర్ చేస్తారు. అంటే సాలిడ్ వేస్ట్, కొంచెం ఏదైనా వేస్ట్ ఉంటుంది కదా, దుమ్ము, గడ్డి, లీవ్స్, అట్లాంటి ఏ ఉన్నా కానీ కూడా ఫస్ట్ దే విల్ ఫిల్టర్. Filtration will occur. This is the step. Okay, they take water from rivers, ponds, etc. And then next step they will do filtration. Okay. Next is aeration. Aeration means passing of air into the water. What happens when air is passed into the water? Some good bacteria will develop. This will consume all the biological waste which is present inside the water. Okay, this bacteria will make water fresh, means it will eat away the biological waste. This is called, this is done by aeration. Aeration means passing the air into the water. Next step is chlorination. Chlorination means chlorine will, when we add chlorine, it will kill some harmful bacteria and like that, some microorganisms it will kill, chlorine. That is why they add chlorine into the water. Sometimes in taps also you will get water which is somewhat whitish, means they have added some chlorine to it. Okay. This is the step chlorination. From there, it comes into the overhead tank. Means big tank to one colony or one city, one tank will be there, no overhead tank. From there, we get into our taps. So this is the flow chart of how the safe drinking water stages are there. First one is from tank, filtration is done, aeration is done, then chlorination is done. From there we get overhead tank, and from there we get into our taps. Okay, this flow chart is important because in this questions also you may get from here. They will fill the gap in between the flow chart. So they will miss one word, aeration, tank, filtration. They will miss the word, and chlorination and taps they will give. So you have to fill up what is the step in it. It is aeration. Okay, like that questions may come. Now, all the wastewater released by home, industries, hospital, offices and other uses are collectively called sewage. So, till now we have learned about the fresh waters and sea water. Okay. Now we will learn one more word, that is sewage. What is sewage water? Sewage water or sewage they will call. So what it is? All the wastewater which is released by home. So wastewater means in from the washrooms and whatever from the kitchen, wash vegetables, no? Vegetable, rice, all those water. And we take bath, that also wastewater. All these activities we do at home, no? The wastewater released by home. And in the industries also they will use much water. From industries also water is released, hospitals, offices. For all this wastewater, it is collectively called as a sewage water. So it is a sewage is a liquid waste. The water మనం దేనికి యూజ్ చేయలేం, sewage water directly. So most of it is water which has dissolved and suspended impurities, disease causing bacteria and other microbes. So in sewage water, if we consider it, most of the sewage water is actually water only, no? It has only some particles of impurities and some microorganisms like bacteria and some other microbes will be there. Still, we cannot use for any other use. So what we have to do from this sewage water, we have to separate out the water. Means we have to take out the bacteria, impurities and all. So broadly, they have said that impurities, these impurities are actually what they are called contaminants. Okay, all these words you have to know the meaning. The impurities which are present in water, the sewage water, they are called as contaminants. So what all are there? These are of three types: organic impurities, inorganic impurities, bacteria and other microbes. Organic impurities means what? Human feces, ante animal waste ఉంటుంది కదా, టూ అవి అవుతాయి కదా. సో యానిమల్ వేస్ట్ అవన్నీ కూడా హ్యూమన్ ఫీకస్, యానిమల్ వేస్ట్, అలాగే ఆయిల్, యూరియా. ఆయిల్ ఉంది, ఇప్పుడు కిచెన్లో వెజిల్స్ ఇఫ్ యూ వాష్, oily water becomes oil, no? That also will go into the drainage. So oil will also be there. Urea from agricultural water flow will be there, no? It will also mix into the river and all. So it has more of urea. Pesticides. So agricultural nunchi vache water, this all. It has urea, pesticides, herbicides, fruit and vegetable waste. All these come into the organic impurities. Now, what are inorganic impurities? Inorganic impurities means all these chemicals will be there, like nitrates, phosphates, metals, etc. And bacteria and other microbes will all be there in this sewage water. This bacteria and microbes will cause many diseases for us if this sewage water get mixed into the drinking water taps and all like that. Okay. So what will happen if we consume that type of water which is contaminated? We say it is contaminated because it is having contaminants, no? So if we drink this contaminated water, we get many diseases like cholera, typhoid, dysentery, and many other diseases. So, okay. So mainly impurities which are present in the sewage water, they are of three types. You remember this: organic impurities, inorganic, and also some microbes. So what we have just seen that sewage water means most of it is water only. So there should be some way to use this sewage water also. So we cannot waste so much of water. So what they will do, they give treatment to this sewage water and use it for some purposes like watering the plants. Okay. And again, I use in the industries like that. So how this treatment is done to the sewage water, we have some steps here. So we will go through this. Now processes at the wastewater treatment plant. So then manamu sewage treatment plant, we call it as sewage treatment plant or wastewater treatment plant. Okay, this is the sewage water treatment plant. Treatment of wastewater involves physical, chemical, biological processes which remove chemical and biological matter that contains water, contaminates water. So, ఈ steps ఏమేమి ఉంటాయి ఇందులో ఈ sewage water treatment లో what steps will be there means sewage water we have physical steps, chemical step and biological processes. These three processes are done so that sewage water becomes somewhat clean so that we can use for some purposes. How it is done? First is the physical process. Physical process. In physical process, what they will do means we can separate large objects like rags, చిన్న చిన్న bags, అటువంటి పిచ్చి పిచ్చి అన్ని వేసేస్తుంటాం కదా వాటర్లో, అవి sticks, cans, plastic packets, etc. ఇవన్నీ water, all these are mixed into the water. No? When you go for a picnic to any water body, you will throw away plastic packets. No, actually we should not do like that. Okay, and we eat ice creams, throw the sticks in the water. We take some cool drinks and throw the cans into the water. Okay, all that things people do know. So what will happen? This sewage water contains all this type of waste also. So these are removed by physical process. Means see, wastewater is passed through the bar screen. So in the diagram you can see, no, these bars are there, no, like straight bars. When water is passed from here or from there to here, what will happen? This plastic will all get stuck. See here, you can see all the rags, sticks, cans, plastic covers, all are getting stuck. And so some solid wastes are removed. We get somewhat neat water here. Okay, water then from there, this is the second step. From there, water goes to a grit and sand removal tank. So, ikkada sand removal tank. The speed of the incoming water, wastewater is decreased to allow sand, grit and pebbles to settle down. So, ila pedda tank loki vachi mellanga water ni vadultaru. So, what will happen? All the sand, dust, pebbles means small stones, they will all settle down. They will get downwards and somewhat clean water will be upside. So here also, this is also comes under the physical process. So what is happening in the first step? They have removed all these rags, plastic bags, cans and all. In the second step, they have removed the sand, dirt, pebbles and all. In the third step, water is then allowed to settle in a large tank, which is sloped towards the middle. Next, see here, a large tank is in water. Water is flown to this type of tanks. These tanks will have in the center slope will be there. Okay, so slope towards the middle. Solids like fecus settle at the bottom and removed with a scraper. So what will happen? all the smooth solids like feces అంటే animal waste అంటే పెండ అట్లా ఉంటాయి కదా, అలాగే హ్యూమన్ వేస్ట్ కూడా ఉంటుంది కదా, అదని those all will get settled at the bottom. Those are removed with this scraper. అంటే వేరే మెషిన్ ఆ ట్యాంక్ చూశారు కదా మీరు, సో ఇక్కడ మధ్యలో స్క్రేపర్ ఉంటుంది. దిస్ స్క్రేపర్ విల్ రిమూవ్ ద that all waste. This is called, that waste is called as the sludge. Okay. The skimmer removes the potable solids like oil and grease. Akkane oka skimmer will also be there. It will remove the oil and grease. So see, all the animal waste is removed and also oil, grease is also removed. Now it is somewhat cleaner. So water is so cleared is called as clarified water. In name clarified water. It is called as a clarified water. So this also may come in the questions. From the water, large cans, that plastic covers are removed, and then in the second step, all the what is done in the second step? See, sand, pebbles are removed, and in the third step, feces, animal waste, and oil and grease is also removed. Then that is called as sludge. That waste is called as the sludge, and skimmer will remove the oil and grease. Then the water we obtain, this is called as the clarified water. So next, this sludge is transferred to a separate tank where it is decomposed by anaerobic bacteria. So we got the sludge, that waste, animal waste and feces. So that is separated out and it is decomposed like biogas. All the animal waste is put into a bin, then we get biogas. Like that only, this sludge is transferred to a tank. Then anaerobic bacteria will decompose it, and the biogas produced in the process can be used as fuel and can be used to produce electricity also. So that sludge is not wasted. From that, biogas is produced. Now, next step. These all come under the physical processes. So all these come under the physical processes. Now, next is, this air is pumped into the clarified water to help aerobic bacteria to grow. Just now we have seen the flow chart, that aeration is there one step. Aeration means air is pumped into the water. When we pump air into the clarified water, aerobic bacteria will grow. So this bacteria consumes human waste, food waste, soaps and other unwanted matter still remaining in clarified water. Clarified water మనకు చూడడానికి బాగుంటుంది, కానీ still if it has any human waste, food waste, soaps and all, this aerobic bacteria will consume it. Means it will all take it, use it. So what happens from the clarified water, that also is removed. This step is called as aeration. Aeration means air is pumped into the clarified water. This comes under the biological processes. So we have seen water, sewage water is cleaned by 3 processes: physical, biological and chemical. So we have seen, until now we have seen about the physical process. Now it is biological process. Okay. After several hours, the suspended microbes settle at the bottom of the tank as activated sludge. The water is then removed from the top. So it is kept in the tank for many hours, this clarified water. Then what will happen? That bacteria also settles at the bottom of the tank. Then that is also removed as a sludge. Then they will collect the water from the top. Still clean water they will collect. Like this. See, this diagram you have in your textbook only. Now, this activated sludge is about 97% water. The water is removed by sand drying bed or machines. So, activated sludge that will have 97%. Then the water is removed by sand drying beds. Dried sludge, and the water తీసేసినాక, the whatever sludge is remained there, that bacteria and all, It is used as manure, retaining organic matter and nutrients to the soil. This manure is good that it forms organic matter and also add nutrients to the soil. The treated water has very low level of organic material and suspended matter. So, clarified matter, water is also filtered, no? So, now we get water which is not having any organic materials and also suspended matter. Suspended matter, తేలుతూ ఉంటాయి కదా matter. The rags, sand, ఇలాంటివన్నీ. Okay. It is discharged into the sea, a river, or into the ground. Such water is discharged into the sea. So now sewage water is somewhat purified and then released into the sea, water, or ground, so that it does not pollute the sea water, river water, or groundwater. Sometimes it may be necessary to disinfect water with chemicals like chlorine and ozone before releasing it into the distribution system. So we have seen that sewage water is treated in physical process, biological process, and chemical process. This is a chemical process. What they will do, chlorination, means they will pump chlorine. They will put chlorine into the water. So this also kills some bacteria and also makes the water clean. This water we can use for some cropping purposes, and otherwise it is released into the river and ground also. Okay, so like this, sewage water is somewhat treated and then released into the river. Why we should do that like that? Sewage water, why should we treat it? Because if we just like that only, if we release this sewage water into the river, sea, or onto the ground, what will happen? Sea water will get polluted, river water will get polluted, and also groundwater will get polluted. So for that purpose only, we have to treat that sewage water. Then we have to release it. Okay. Now next, diseases caused by untreated water. So if water is not clean, if we use it, so what will happen? Many diseases will come with water. Residents, there is release of wastewater from kitchen, bathroom, toilets, outside their houses, which gets stagnated and causes. What is this word stagnated? On roads or some, if you see any pit, water will stay there. So what will happen? Water will stay there for many days. So mosquito will lay eggs, and also all the waste will be there, collected there. So this water is called as stagnated. Stagnated water, it is causes many diseases like diarrhea, malaria, typhoid, and cholera. Now, so for that, we should have a proper drainage system. Here, from individual to government, everyone has to take an initiative to have proper drainage system. Now, in your lesson, there is a word of two types of drainage system: open drainage system and a closed drainage system. Open means this like nala; it will be open only, water will be flowing from it. So it is called as open drainage system. It is not so good because even though it is flowing in some seasons, like in summer and all, less water will be there, and also many people will be throwing many waste into it, and it gets stagnated there, and diseases may spread. So closed drainage system is not always good. Now open drainage system is not always good. Now closed drainage system is like this: big pipes are laid, and that is wastewater, that sewage water is directly carried to the treatment plant. This is good. This every village, every city, every town should have this closed proper drainage system. Now, so one more thing when we talk of water is very much important topic is conservation of water. What do you mean by conservation? I think you know this meaning. What is conservation? Okay, conservation means protecting water. Okay, protecting water from depletion. Water is going on decreasing. Fresh water is more like that. So we have to conserve it. Means we have to protect it, save water. So in Nalavalli is the oldest Vana Samrakshana Samithi of Medak district. Remember this word, Vana Samrakshana Samithi, VSS. This was started in Medak district, which was formed in 1993 with 600 members. An area of 310 hectares has been allotted from Nalavalli forest block to the VSS members. So when they started in 1993, some land was given, some 10 hectares of land was given to redevelop that forest block. Okay. So when this Vana Samrakshana Samithi was not formed, the nearby villages in this forest, nearby villages will be there, no? So in that villages, condition of the people was very bad. Their social economic condition of the villages was bad. Many of them used to migrate to other places as their lands were not suitable for cultivation. So they used to migrate to other places. Why this migration means they would leave their places and go somewhere and live. Why this migration will happen? Because wherever they stay, those land, they were dependent on agriculture. So when these lands were not suitable for agriculture, because why not suitable? Here mainly we are talking of water. See, so that land was getting depleted of groundwater. So when they dig a well also, water is not found. When they put bore wells also, water is not coming. So how do they cultivate land, any crop like that? So what will happen? So economic condition will go down. So better, what they will do? They migrate to other places for livelihood. So that was the condition of the people before Vana Samrakshana Samithi was formed. They could raise only rain-fed crops like Jowar, red gram, horse gram, maize. So some people used to cultivate only Jowar, red gram, horse gram, maize because these are all rain-fed crops. Whenever rain comes, the crop will have water. Otherwise, no. So availability of water even for drinking purpose was also difficult because wells and bore wells used to dry up in summer. In summer, all the bore wells and wells will dry up, so no water, even for drinking also. That was the condition of the villages. So, VSS member, what we have done to for conservation of water, what they have done means they have constructed percolation tanks. This is called percolation tanks. They have constructed percolation tanks, contact ditches to harvest rainwater. Okay, this is the point here. Harvest rainwater means what? See, what will happen? Rain will come. Okay, but what happens for that? Some days only rainwater will be available. Whatever storage is there, it will be there, and much of the rainwater will drain away. It will go and get mixed with the river, sea, and all. If we don't store that rainwater, so waste of rainwater will be done. That rainwater we have to store. That means harvest. We have to harvest rainwater. For that, they have big percolation tanks, contact ditches, and all. And also check dams and rock-filled dams have also been constructed to conserve water to revive the forest area. So this VSS members have been allotted some land in the forest area, no, Nalamala forest. So when they restore this water in dams, this rock-filled dams, check dams, and in percolation tanks, groundwater will develop. When groundwater is good, trees will grow more, no? Like that. So this is a percolation tank, see. So they will dig a big tank like this. So what will happen when rain comes? All will not drain away to river or sea. Some water will store in these tanks. This water we can use for agriculture also. And also groundwater level will also increase. Groundwater level means, no, in whatever water is present inside the ground. So when if groundwater is more, when we dig well, in a low depth only we'll get water. Bore also, if we put bore also, groundwater is good means we get water. Otherwise we don't get water. So groundwater also we have to protect. So when they dig the percolation tanks like this, water will sink into the ground. So what will happen? Underground water will develop. These are the check dams. These are called as the check dams. So what will happen if check dams are not there? What will happen when rain comes? All the water will drain away like this, and then it will get mixed into some sea and river in far away. So these the people near this area won't have any water. That is why what will happen? They will build some check dams like this, so that water is stopped here to some extent, so that the people here will get water for agricultural purposes and for their also, them also, and also groundwater is also increased. That is the main purpose. Okay. So in agriculture also some techniques are followed so that water is not wasted so much. So see, these are stretches, no? Beside it, this like this also dug here, these stretches. What will happen? Water will store there, so they can use, and also soil remains moist. Okay, so some techniques are followed in agriculture also, so that much water is not wasted. Now, and still, this was the story of that village in Medak, that VSS members have formed a group. No? Now we will talk about another district here. Even though River Krishna flows through Nalgonda district, it suffers from severe water scarcity. See how ironically it is their condition. Through Nalgonda district only Krishna river will flow, but still they have water scarcity. What do you mean by water scarcity? You know this word, no? Water scarcity means water will not be available. Okay. Though the river is flowing through the district, water is not available there. Why? Most of the people in Prakasham district of AP state face a water crisis. Water crisis means that's what water is not available to them, because this is because the groundwater is polluted in these districts, mainly Prakasham district and Nalgonda district. Groundwater is polluted so much. It is polluted with fluorine, means more of fluorine is present in those areas in their ground. So whatever groundwater is there, it has more of fluorine. Okay. So what will happen? More of fluorine. If we drink water which is having fluorine more, we get the disease fluorosis. This also may come in the questions. See, what is fluorosis? If we drink water with more of fluorine, what disease we get? So they will give the names of some diseases. So we get the disease called fluorosis. In fluorosis, what happens? See here, or their teeth will get charred, means all dark brown patches will be there on the teeth. And then see here, legs, how they have become. The legs have become crossed like this because their bones are deformed. Okay. It will affect, fluorine will affect on bones and teeth. So their bones are deformed and their teeth are also charred, means all brown patches will come. So children, please concentrate on the lesson now. So bones and teeth are affected due to fluorosis. So this is a big problem there. All the small children are getting fluorosis. They can't walk properly. So many have reached a stage like they cannot walk at all. So that was happening in the districts. So they should be supplied with water which is having less of fluorine. Okay, that was the condition there. Now we will discuss about the two different situations of water scarcity. water, different situations of water. See, now droughts. Have you heard the word droughts? And water scarcity means if for many years, means some 3-4 years, we don't get proper rain, what will happen? All the underground water will get dried up. All the surface water, like in rivers, ponds, lakes, all this also gets dried up. And these trees and all will also get dried up, and rain is also not falling down. So, in this condition, the village will face a condition called drought. See how in the picture you can see how ground has dried up so much. In this condition, we can't even cultivate any crop there or do any cultivation we cannot do. So, due to this water scarcity, the food problem will also arise and many diseases will also come. So, many problems are interconnected like this. So, all the problems will come in that drought areas. So, in a region, if there is no rain for a long period, it may cause droughts. During this period, it is very difficult to get food and fodder. Food means human, we don't get food. And fodder for animals also, food is not available. Animal food is called fodder, no? So, fodder is also not available. Drinking water is scarce, means many less water will be there. For drinking purpose also, water is not available. So people need to travel long distances to collect water. Soil becomes dry, agriculture and cultivation is difficult. Many people who depend on farming for their livelihood migrate to other places in search of jobs. So people from such places, what they will do? There is no other option for them. They have to migrate to other purposes, other places. So in our state, Mehboob district are treated as drone-prone areas. So Mehboob district ikkada alanti conditions మనం చూస్తున్నాం అన్నమాట. Okay. So next condition is more of water. Water will be plenty. So it where floods means it is improper. Like see, rain will follow for so many days, and then canals are filled and all. When they remove the dam gates, that villages underground under the dam will get floods. So this condition is also very dangerous. So many people will lose their lives, and they are prone to many diseases. They lose their property. So much difficulty they face. Okay, so this is also due to somewhat improper balance in the nature. Many rains will come and then floods will occur. So this will happen. This is a natural hazard. So here what is happening? If rains are more and floods will come also, it is problem. If drought will also, it is a problem. Somehow, directly or indirectly, human is also a one point of cause for this, because human is doing so much of deforestation, cutting down of trees, using of more chemicals, using of so what is happening? Global warming is happening, means the earth is getting heated up and many changes in the seasons are coming. So it is resulting in somewhat like this: floods, droughts, and all other water scarcity problem, underground water becoming polluted, water bodies becoming polluted. So it is leading to a big problem in the future. So all of us should have knowledge of conservation of water, and we should conserve water at our level. Each and every person should do at our level. Do not waste water. And then do good things like when you visit any water source, like any visiting places, any, you should not put all the wastes into the water bodies. Like we have habit of putting water plastic covers and all into the sea, river and all, no, when we visit places some. So we should not do like that. We should conserve water, we should plant trees and get awareness, and also give awareness to others also. Okay, so I think you have understood the lesson. Any doubts, please ask. We have finished with this lesson water. Again we will meet with another lesson. If you have any doubts in this lesson, please ask. Now you have noted out some important words, no? Clarified water, then stages of supply of pure drinking water. What is chlorination? What is aeration? Okay, what is sludge? All these words you have to have perfect understanding so that you can understand the question given and also answer. Okay, any doubt, children? ఓకే సార్, లెసన్ అయిపోయింది, క్లోజ్ చేద్దామా భరత్ సార్?
ఓకే మ్యామ్, ఓకే.
ఓకే.